Welcome aboard Sea Venture. Join us and our crew as we slowly explore Mexico, the people, the culture, the anchorages, the cruising grounds, and everything it has to offer.
These are the guys who are doing the pump out for us, and they are pumping out our holding tank since we've been here a little while. We need to get that emptied out, and it looks like we'll have about 10 more days. But this is a service that's free to liveaboards here in the harbor and for a nominal fee for non-liveaboards. But nice to get it done.
Well, there's Rosie at the entrance to our captain's bilge. And I am totally in the doghouse here.
Yes.
Because I screwed up. Because we're working on this shower sump. And yeah, I just kind of rolled out of bed this morning, half asleep, did my normal routine, jumped in the shower, got half done with the shower before I remembered, oh goodness, the shower sump is completely disconnected. So my shower water all drained down into this area. So now Rosie's down there with a cup trying to scoop it out. Since I can't.
I'd love to get you down here.
Enough,
but I have a bowl for you.
All right. Rosie's done with the cleanup and she's asked for the camera. So here you go.
All right.
Be kind.
Yeah, the son of a gun. Here is the hose we disconnected from right here. Oops, that's not going to help you guys, sorry. From right here. And of course the shower just spewed into this space. So we've got that cleaned up. I do have some towels down to help because it's a little damp. But what it did do, having this hose here disconnected, is it made it so I could get a little closer to the tank because there was kind of a V here keeping me back. And I was able to jerk on the tank a bit, and I think we've got it completely loose. The front is, and I was able to kind of jiggle the back. So I think it's completely disconnected. We did find one more Renegade hose, and that is the one on the top back here that we have discovered goes to, let's see if I can do that better there, to the air conditioning condenser.
Yep, the condenser and the V-berth, the air conditioning unit in the V-berth, the drain for it. So we can pull that out and then reroute that and figure that thing out. But it gives us an opportunity to pull this tank back to the hole and see if we can potentially get this tank out of here.
All right, I got it here. Jim's going to see if he can make something happen with it.
I'm not going to be able to with these bolts.
The bolts. All right, this is the culprit, and it's this ring that is on the top.
You can talk.
All right, Jim's working away at this thing, trying to get this thing out of here so we can get this tank out of here. Check it out. Empty hull, big, ugly tank. What do you think,
Holy
Jim?
cow. Original stainless steel tank. Clearly, I think, slid down barely in this hole, then all the fittings put on after it was down there.
Yeah.
Or laid down during the construction of the boat. Original, remember Sea Venture's 45-year-old shower sump pump tank. Why they felt compelled to make a 25-gallon tank, I don't know, or whatever this is. But, whew, it's out. I think it's time. That may be enough for Captain's Bilge today.
We'll tackle some more tomorrow.
My only hope now, the most important thing, is did I get any more beer in the fridge? That's the most important thing right now aboard Sea Venture. Maybe the weather. We're gonna check the weather. I think our chance is coming, but it's a few days out, 5 or 6 days.
It's about 5:10. We've just had the squall or the storm come through. The winds picked up a bit. And the rain is coming down now. It had been kind of cloudy all day and drizzly, but now all of a sudden the winds have kicked in. I saw 18 knots a moment ago. I think it's probably down to about 10 or 15, and it's just really raining. We got another warning from the harbor master about big winds and swell or wake. Swell in the marina anticipated, so we'll just see how that plays out. It's just another one of the many storms that are coming through.
But we don't get to complain because we're just sitting in Ensenada, very slightly inconvenienced, and
Yes.
only inconvenienced because of our desire to go south to warmer weather, while the people in California are really experiencing a lot of devastation as a result of this same weather.
Yep.
Let's interrupt our regular scheduled broadcast for a little bit of Q&A. The other night you may have seen us go to El Rey Sol, the really nice French restaurant here in Ensenada. At the end of that video, we did not share with you the cost of dinner. And so, Rosie, explain why exactly we didn't share the cost of dinner, because a lot of people ask, how much did dinner cost?
Well, Jim was all prepped to show the receipt at the end of dinner.
I filmed it and everything.
He did, and I was like, oh, that's overkill. We give people so much information. I'm sure they don't need to know that or want to know that. I was wrong. So, any rate, we had this lovely dinner. Quick recap, we had 2 margaritas. We had a tableside mushroom preparation appetizer. Yeah. We had tableside Caesar salad.
2 waters.
2 waters and
soup course.
A soup course and 2 entrees.
And 2 margaritas. Did you say margaritas?
I did that.
Oh, you did? Okay. And the total was?
$86.
$86.
There you go.
For dinner. All right. If you want us to continue to include the prices of stuff as we are doing whatever it is we're doing as we cruise through Mexico, leave a comment in the comments, and we'll do whatever you ask us. All right. All right. A couple of you asked about how Blake's eye's doing because he had a little infection in his eye.
And we're continuing to give him his treatments, but he's doing very well, and it seems to be on the mend.
Yep. Great.
Thank you for asking. Many of you provided some good feedback on margarita making and on tortilla making, so we want to share a few of the comments.
Yep, so we learned a lot about different options for the margarita making, which is great. We learned how to get the pronunciation of the different ingredients correct. Thank you so much. And so lots of more experimenting required for margarita making. For the tortilla making, even more better suggestions. A whole bunch of folks said, use a rolling pin for flour tortillas. And in fact, the tortilla press is really just made for corn tortillas. So heck, we're learning. And so we got lots more practice to do on margarita making and tortilla making. This wraps up this Q&A session. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment on YouTube or you can email and we'll try to keep answering them. So now back to the regular scheduled programming. While the atmospheric river continues to pound the west coast of the U.S., we get the southern edge remnants of it here in Ensenada while we continue to watch for a weather window to head south. So this is current conditions outside Ensenada, 11.6 foot seas on 13.1 seconds. So obviously we're not going anywhere in the real short term, but let's play the model forward and see how we're doing for later out. So this is Wednesday morning. If we start the model out. Here's Thursday morning. Oh, looking okay maybe. Yeah, good. We need like 3 days. There's Friday. But look what shows up again. Up to 13 feet on 16 seconds. By Saturday. Then some improvement a little bit again. down under 10-foot seas on 10 seconds. But maybe then it gets better. There's another wave showing up. Then it climbs to 12 feet on 12 seconds by next Wednesday. But then maybe our opportunity is coming. Look at Thursday, 7 feet on 12, 6 feet on 11, 6 feet. Thursday, Friday. So now if we look at the model for Friday the 20th, we're at 6.9 feet on 10 seconds. That's a go weather. And we pan out and look at the larger Pacific. We can see all this stuff is finally turning north up into the Aleutians and the Gulf of Alaska where we spent last year. And not continuing to head to California. So it looks to me like this is our weather window next week.
All right, we're back in the captain's bilge. That's what we call this lovely space underneath our bed and between these two fuel tanks. And as you can see now, we have gotten the tank out of here. We just have the small sump pump, if you will, or shower sump left. And you can see this craziness of wires up ahead. And that's all space that hasn't been accessed for 40 some years. So we're going to try and tidy that up a little bit while we're down here, and now that we have access to it. And we'll just see how that goes.
All right, Rosie's forward there in the captain's bilge in the area that we've never had access to, working on attaching a new hose. Got to heat up the hose with a heat gun so it'll slide over the old hose and see if we can get this connection done to make an extension.
All right, continuing our project, we have now kind of tied up some of the hoses down, or I'm sorry, some of the wires down there. The ones that you see hanging down are more cables. What are those?
They're the
black ones?
They're the shift and throttle cables.
Yeah. I cut off this copper pipe here down there and added an extra hose to that. And we added a coupler to this sump pump and added some hose to that. Now we're going to spend some time on this pump here. I need to cut these ends off of this, and then we'll start hopefully attaching things and see how that goes. All right, here's the finished product. We had to jury rig a little bit because we didn't have the perfect hoses or connectors, but we have it connected enough to work. We've got the two showers working. The sump pump is going to wait until we get a decent fitting for it. Otherwise, we're good to go to reload our captain's bilge.
All right, sitting on the floor in our cabin here, we've got this project all done. Woohoo! We've got our oil back in there and stuff. We only have 10 gallons of extra oil on board right now. Not very much, but we just changed the oil here in Ensenada a couple weeks ago. So 200 hours per oil change, so 400 hours times 7 knots, 2,800 nautical miles or so of cruising before we would run out of oil. So we're good for now. But I've got it all down there, so let me show you what it looks like with some stuff in there. Like I said, there's only 10 gallons in there now. We have capacity for 30, maybe 40 if you were real careful getting them down there. But so yeah, we're good. Here you go. So looking good. The 1 gallons you see down there are for the generator. Woohoo! It's pretty cool to get that old tank out of there and access an area on the boat that's never been accessed since it was built. So that was kind of cool. All right, here's another one of the hatches on Sea Venture down here. We have a whole bunch of these, and I don't know whether you can really see underneath here. Let me pull out some of these. One of these, you can see the series of bolts here. What these hatches actually are there's on these two fuel tanks 2 24-inch hatches to access the interior of the fuel tanks, but we use them for some storage on top. We have all our zincs in here for Sea Venture. the spare zincs, the spare propeller for the tender, and then maybe most importantly our pair of spare propellers for Sea Venture herself.